just tried to record this video. And by tried, I mean I was recording for 40 minutes, and then I got a notification that said, iPhone storage full. Pain. So here we are, part 2. Honestly, I was kind of rambling in the first one though, so it's okay. So we're just gonna go at it again. Growing up, I was like a nerd in school. And I was the guy who like always was like in class, and like I do my classwork. Most of the time I did my classwork, and I usually like would finish early, and I like fuck around with my friends, and I'd like be talking and shit. So I did my classwork, always did well in that, cool. I always did super well on tests as well. I was always like a great test taker, A's, B's, right? I kid you not, I didn't get my first C on a test until 7th grade. Didn't get my first D until like 9th grade. I think that was like third quarter, 9th grade. By that time, I was like kind of depressed. I was like super anxious. I'm not gonna lie. I'll just tell you this. So my parents, they didn't like grow up. I mean, I didn't grow up with my parents together. They kind of had like a few-year relationship. They were actually like high school sweethearts. And then they had my sister when they were, my mom was 19, my dad was 20. And then they had me 5 years later. I was actually the product of their last hookup. some drama there, but I'm not gonna talk about that. But basically, eventually when I was 12, my dad had actually moved down here to Georgia, and I moved with him. My dad, my stepmom, my 2 younger brothers, I came with him. But after a year, I decided to go back to Jersey for summer vacation, knowing I wasn't gonna come back. And I didn't tell my dad until the second to last day before. So yeah, that was very bad. And that tore a rift in our relationship for a long time, and we had to do a lot of work to mend that. And we have. Me and my dad are awesome now. I love my dad. But basically, at this point, like freshman year when I was like super depressed, my mom and my dad, my mom had basically sued my dad for child support, and then my dad countersued her for custody of me, and then he won. And so I was super anxious and kind of like going crazy because I didn't want to go back to Georgia because I didn't fucking like my life there. I was fucking depressed, and I didn't know how to say that to my dad, and he didn't really care. He just wanted me to be there. And so I kind of ended up like cursing my dad out, not gonna lie, and that actually made him understand. And he was like, all right, well, what I want is irrelevant if my son hates his life, so I'm gonna just let him be, right? So that was that. I told you that because I was super depressed and anxious this time during school. That was basically the only time, like that was why I flopped. Every other time, like the only times I didn't perform in school, I've been too depressed. Fuck off, 10% battery. All right, we gotta make this quick. Oh, well. So, I've always been a massive nerd, right? Always performed well in school, right? The only times I didn't were high school when I was just too sad to care about life or to care about school. To care about anything besides video games and stories. Oh, and learning. Always learn. And so, in school growing up, right, I was always the guy who did the classwork, because, you know, had to do classwork to learn the stuff. I actually liked learning most of the time. Even though classwork was usually BS, the things we were learning was usually BS. Kind of had to still learn them if I wanted to do well on tests, which is how you really get good grades, right? And so I always did my classwork, always did well on tests as well. I actually kind of like tests, testing my knowledge. I always kind of like the idea of that. I like to perform. I like to feel like I'm in like in war. Tests always felt like war to me. And then at the same time, you know, tests are a big part of your grade, so awesome. But homework, I kid you not, I probably did maybe 25 to 35 is really a stretch. Honestly, it's really a stretch. 35% of the homework assignments I got throughout my like 12, 13 years in the education system. I went to college for a year, so I guess 14. Even though I didn't really go to college, I probably went to class like 24 times in college. 3 is a stretch. And so it's like, bro, I never did homework. Why? I just never saw the fucking utility. There was no purpose. The purpose of homework was what? To reinforce what you learned in class. I didn't need to do that. I already learned it. I just knew it. The first time they taught me it, it clicked. When I practiced it in class, it clicked. I didn't need to practice it again. Or for your grade, right, doing the classwork, doing the homework, you know, for your grade, I didn't need that shit. My grades were good enough just off homework and classwork and quizzes. I mean, off tests and classwork and quizzes, right? So I didn't need the grades or the actual utility of reinforcing the learning that homework provided, so I didn't do it. I was playing video games, or I was outside, or I was learning stuff, or I was making stuff. The fuck am I playing, like, I mean, the fuck am I wasting my time doing homework for? There's so many better things to do. And that was when I realized that, like, I don't do shit without desire. And I've really clarified this myself over the last couple weeks. The first 5 months of this year, I was working at Planet Fitness. And although I enjoyed working at Planet Fitness, it was alright. You know, I kind of actually got fired there. Because I, basically, the manager that hired me, he had left after the first 4 months that I was there. And for my last month, I had a new manager. And she, like, just got promoted to manager from assistant manager. And so, you know, she wanted to tighten up on protocol. My manager that hired me, he didn't really care. There were so many things he didn't give a fuck about. But my new manager, she was telling me these things like, hey, Jaden, I want you to do this. We got to do this. And I was like, oh, yeah, I got you. I was sweet talking her. Wasn't doing it, man. Honestly, I kind of wanted to get fired so I can lock back in with YouTube and with business because I felt like the job was just taking my energy. And so even though at Planet Fitness, like, what I did, it was cool, right? I was talking to people. I was out at the front desk. I was just chilling. It was a chill-ass job. I was cleaning. I was talking to girls. You know, I was flirting and shit. That was cool, right? That was awesome. But the purpose behind it, right? Yeah, like, getting the money, that was great. But, you know, it was just like a part-time thing. I was only getting, like, $400 or $500 a month. It wasn't crazy, right? It's not like that income was, like, really changing my life. Like, if I didn't have that, I'd be fine, right? And so it's like, yeah, what I'm actually doing here in terms of, like the purpose behind my role at Planet Fitness, like, I don't give a fuck. It's not like I'm doing something special. It's not like I really care about Planet Fitness's mission and their fucking purpose and their brand and, like, what they're trying to help people with. Of course, I care about the fact that, you know, they're providing a space for people to work out and, like, gym awesome, right? And so, like, that's sick. But I just don't really give a fuck, right? You can only have so many fucks to give in the world, and I just don't got to give for that. You know what I mean? And so it's like, man, even though the action, like with the homework example, right? Even though you could be doing homework, and it could be, like, pretty similar to what you did in class, or it could be something, you know, like writing an essay, like, that's something you might do in class, or you might do something similar for, like, a test. It's the same action, but because the purpose has no utility, right? Like, classwork is so you can initially learn things, and so you can do things in class, so you can, you know, basically not have the teacher, like, be annoyed that you're not doing work, right? Tests are to test your knowledge. They're to perform well so that you can actually have a good grade in the class. Those were valuable. Those have utility. Homework had, like, no utility for me. I didn't need the extra reinforcement from learning. I didn't need the points for the grade, so I didn't give a fuck. So, like, even though the action, the input can matter, or, like, can be, like, something that you can, like, do, if the purpose doesn't, if it's not there, if there's no core desire, if there's something internally that is like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this, it's not gonna happen, bro. And I realized this with myself. When I was actually talking to my parents a few weeks ago about, like, getting a job and stuff, I was like, you know, like, I know how to work, guys. Like, there have been plenty of days I've worked 6, 8, 10, 12 hours fucking recording, writing, editing, like, grinding for my own self-mastery, my purpose, my mission, my brand, whatever. It's not that I can't work. I know how to work. But I refuse to put my energy into something that I give no fucks about. And so it's like, that's the task itself, that's the input itself, but that's also the reason behind why I'm doing that thing. Like sales. I could get behind sales. Sales is about talking to people, it's about helping people understand a product, helping people overcome their objections so that they can get something. It's really about helping people make a decision. Helping people decide this isn't for me, or about helping people decide this is, and then getting them to the next step, helping people get the limited beliefs, the objections out of the way, so they can actually get to that next, you know, place where they want to go. Sales is a beautiful game, but the thing is, it's only a beautiful game if you're selling people something you believe in, and that's going to change their lives. And so it's like, for me, I don't get behind sales if I'm not going to do something I believe in for something I believe in. It's like, if I don't care about the brand, the company, the mission, the product, and what it does for people, if I have, like, no connection to this, if this doesn't trigger me internally to be like, oh yeah, Jaden, you should help these people get this. This is so valuable. This is so impactful. This is so amazing, right? I won't give a fuck. I just can't. I can't care. I can't make myself care. It doesn't happen. And so it's like, bro, even in, like, something like I've realized that, like, I would love to do sales for, like, an entrepreneur. If there was someone, like, an entrepreneur who had, like, a small business and I, like, believed in their mission, their brand, I would love to fucking do sales for them. But if it's something like life insurance, there are plenty of life insurance reps who, you know, life insurance companies who need, like, salesmen who would hire people with no experience, but I don't give a fuck. I don't care. I don't care about life insurance. You might be able to convince me to care, but right now I don't. And so I'm not going to try to move towards that because I don't want to. You see what I'm saying? The input itself is very important, but the purpose behind it is just as important. And this third thing is super important in terms of detaching from the outcome as an artist. And that's everything. Because as an artist, you know, especially when it comes to like the social media game, we're usually so attached to views, to likes, to subscribers, even to like making money for our business. But those are outcomes, outputs. You can't control those things. Those have other variables attached to them. Think about like muscle. You can't command your bicep to grow by 2 centimeters right now, right? Like if I told you just will your muscles to grow, like you can't do that. But what you can do is you can train your muscles to failure so that you trigger muscle stimulus. You trigger, you know, your muscles actually have to be like, oh shit, there's not enough strength here, we need more. That starts triggering muscle growth. And then if you've given your muscles proper nutrition, proper fuel to grow, you've given them enough protein, enough calories, and you recover well, which is actually the space that the muscles grow in. If you do those inputs, well, then you can get to the output of muscle growth. But muscle growth isn't something you can will yourself and just do. There are other variables that are at play here. All you can do is the inputs that trigger those variables, but you can't control the things yourself. When it comes to like subscribers, yeah, you can make great videos. Yeah, you can make things that reach people, that impact people. You can't make somebody press the fucking subscribe button. The fuck? You can make a great title and thumbnail. You can't make somebody choose your video over the one above them. Like what the fuck? You see what I'm saying? It's like, you can't make people do shit. You can persuade them, you can influence them. You can help people see if, you know, following this curiosity is something they want to do. Following this decision, this path is something they want to do. Of course, you can guide people, you can influence people. You can't choose for people though. And so you can't be attached to these outcomes that have people choosing. Wait, you can't be attached to these outcomes that have people choosing tied to them. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. People are tied to views and likes and subscribers and money. And so you can't really control those things. All you can do is control the things around them that enable you to get those things. All you can do is focus on creating the videos, improving the videos, which is the second thing, and then continuously doing that over time, right? And so like the first thing we talked about is the input itself, the action. We were also talking about purpose and desire and how that's super important. The last thing is improving. So those are the three things, right? The title of this video is Artists Shouldn't Focus on Outcomes, Focus on These Things Instead. These three things. Creating, doing the thing itself, like for me, like making this video. Improving. And so for me, recently, I've been focused on telling stories in the beginning of all my videos as hooks to get people in, to basically, you know, spread more emotion, share like that, really have story be a vehicle. That's been my main focus of improvement recently for my content. So creating, improving, and then purpose. Like, what's the purpose? What's the desire behind why you're doing this thing? Those are the three things you should be focusing on, because those are the three things you can actually control. You can control what you do. You can control what you improve, and you can control what desires you move on. Now, you can't control what you feel desire towards, because your desires aren't from you, they're from God. But when you feel those desires, you can choose to act on them. That is up to you. You can choose to do things, you can choose to create, you can choose to iterate and improve. But the thing is, it takes time to improve and iterate. This is so crazy, I kid you not. I just recorded this video, like I said earlier, and it was too long, I was ranting it, and my iPhone storage ran out. And so I literally went through all like my old videos from the last year and I just deleted them. There was over 200 videos in there. So many reps. I posted on my Instagram like the screen recording. Oh, Jaden, you're so good at talking. Like someone like mimicking me, right? Like, because a lot of people have talked like, oh yeah, Jaden, you're so good at talking. No fucking shit, I'm so good at talking. I have so many fucking reps in this shit, bro. You understand me? I do this shit a lot. And over time, I've worked on, you know, pieces here and there. Improving. But this core desire behind why I've done all of these things, like I put in 200 plus reps, 400, 500 plus reps in videos over this last year. I've made over 150 writings, 130 plus newsletters. I mean, actually, over like 160 plus newsletters. I've done these things. Why? Because this purpose, this desire to help as many artists live their most free and authentic lives by helping them understand who they truly are and express who they truly are. That's my fucking mission. That's why I'm here. This is my purpose. And so I have this desire. That's why I create. That's why I improve. Because I have these people I need to reach. I have this purpose I need to actualize. And so like, the fact that, you know, on this channel, this is a new channel. I posted my first video 3 hours ago. It's got 1 view, which is the woman I'm dating. Right? So no one has seen it so far. I don't care. I don't care if no one sees it in the next 3 weeks. I don't care if it still has 1 view in the next 3 weeks. You know why? Because it's a good video. And I know I'm going to keep iterating. I'm going to keep creating and improving. I'm going to keep playing this game until I get to that point where I do have the people. Because at the end of the day, I know that what I have is good enough to have what I want. I know that my teachings, my stories, who the fuck I am, I know I can have 100,000 followers. I know I deserve that shit. I know I'm capable of it. And so I just have to keep putting in the work until what I actually put into reality reflects that. Okay, I just gotta keep showing up then. I just gotta keep putting in the reps, keep improving, keep putting intention. But that's only gonna, like, I can only do that because I have this desire. Because this is actually something I want. This isn't outsidely imposed. This isn't extrinsically motivated. It's intrinsically motivated. I want it because I fucking want it. It sickens me that more artists aren't living the lives they want. It sickens me that more artists aren't creating. It sickens me that so many artists are living inauthentic lives, which means they're not creating stuff, and which means they're just depressed. Because I was that artist, and I fucking hated my life, and I hated myself, and I don't like that. I don't want other people to feel like that. So I do what I can to help other people not feel like that. You see what I'm saying? I have this purpose, this desire that moves me. Now the thing is, 2 years ago, I didn't have this mission statement and this clarity of purpose. I couldn't say I want to help as many artists as possible live their most free and authentic lives by helping them understand who they truly are and express who they truly are, right? Like, I have this mission statement now because I've been working on it for the last 2 years. 2 years ago, I was fucked in the head. I was depressed. I was down bad. I was heartbroken. But I knew I loved helping people. And I knew I loved making videos. I knew those two things. I didn't know shit else besides the fact that I love helping people, I love making YouTube videos, and that I was too depressed to do anything about it. So I wanted to change this last one so I could start getting at these first two. And I was like, okay. So I left New Jersey. I came down here to Georgia, moved here with my dad, got the fuck on self-improvement, and I started changing my life. But only because I had this purpose. I want to help people with their mental health. I want to help people create. Focus on creating. The input. Focus on the thing you're doing itself. If you're a musician, make music. Write music. If you want to be a speaker, speak. If you're a writer, write. Right? Like, whatever your thing is, do what it is. Focus on getting better too. Like, you have to get better. If you don't get better, your like internal taste will never reflect your external creations. And that's the thing. That's something Dan Coe likes to talk about a lot. We all have this internal taste. But the thing is, our skill level as artists, since we're probably noobs, doesn't reflect our internal taste. We want it to look this way, but it doesn't because we don't have the skills to actually execute on that yet. The thing is though, you're only going to get to that skill level if you put in the time, the effort, the intention, the attention. If you put in the reps and you improve a lot. So it's like you're only going to get to that place of having the skill level to actualize the taste that is in here, out there, if you're willing to make things out there that don't align with what you truly want in here. I need you guys to understand, like, you're going to judge what you make for a long time. I've only gone to this place recently where I really feel like, holy shit, my shit is fucking gas, bro. Holy fuck. I felt this way about my content over the last year, right? About my stories, about my teachings. But as I've watched like the videos and the writings that I've done in the last 2 to 3 weeks, I'm like, nah, I'm on some different shit, bro. Like, I'm spitting different game right now, right? My stories are so fucking hilarious. They're so impactful. They're really like, you're really in there. I'm so funny. I'm just hilarious. I have such a great personality. I have such great energy. The things I say are so fucking insightful, are so paradigm shifting, and I know it. It's like I have so much deep conviction in the things I create now because I've improved a lot. I see that like this internal taste is actually coming out, and there's still so much more work I have to do, and I'm excited to do that work. But I've only gone to this place because I've had the purpose move me I've had the purpose get me through in those times where I've wanted to quit, those times where I've wanted to not show up, those times where I've wanted to stop, to not create, where I don't feel like getting better, where I don't feel like showing up and making stuff. Because I have the purpose, I keep persisting. The creating and the improving is how you actually get the outcome. That's how you get, the things you want, right? If you want to make money, then you got to like do the business things and keep doing them to get the money, right? But the thing is, you're never going to get there because this takes fucking time and effort if you don't have the proper fuel, the proper desire to move the vehicle, to move you. And so you need to have that intrinsic desire. Now the thing is, you can still have external goals. Like right now, I have an external goal of making $2,000 per month so I can move to Bali. That's awesome. That's an external goal. But really, I understand that that external goal is a vehicle for spiritual growth, spiritual development. I know that it's not like the goal itself is going to make me happy. It's the fact that when I show up and do the things required to get to that goal, I make these videos, I improve myself, I work on myself, I do the inner work, I do the outer work. Those are the things that really give me the fulfillment. Doing the work itself, progressing, building, that's really what gives you the fulfillment. It's not obtaining a goal. We've all reached goals that we wanted. What happens the next day? How do you feel the next day? You don't really give a fuck. But those days where you worked as hard as you could, you checked those boxes you know you were supposed to, you go to bed with a smile on your face. I promise you, the more days you stack like that, your life's gonna start fucking feeling amazing. And so I need you to have this mindset of like, yo, the outcomes, I want those things, but I'm only gonna get to those things if I actually improve my craft over a long enough period of time. Hormozy says, become undeniable. Be so fucking good that it would be unreasonable that you don't have the results you want. Well, how do you get that fucking good? By persisting and iterating over enough time. How do you have that desire? By moving from a place that is genuine. Not some place that the programmers have put you in, not because your parents told you to, not because the school system or the education system or the workplace, or because the religious figures or the media or the influencers, not because anyone else the fuck told you to, but because God told you to. And because when God told you to, it felt right in your heart. That is what you need to move off. Now the thing is, you might be too distracted to even hear what God is telling you. So maybe you should get the fuck off your phone and go outside. Maybe you should like sit down and meditate for a few minutes. Right? Be with yourself. When you wake up in the morning, don't grab your phone right away. Go like do some dishes. I swear to God, this morning, I literally did dishes. Like I make it the first thing I do every morning, I don't touch my phone. I do something where I'm like just completely present. Yesterday I was reading. I kid you not, this morning, like I got downstairs, there was a ton of dishes to be done in our kitchen. So I literally just did dishes for the first like 40 minutes I was awake this morning. It was great. I was super present the whole time. It was awesome. Right? Now I was kind of pissed that, there's always dirty dishes in our kitchen, but can't do anything about that. My family's kind of slobs. Is what it is. I'm like that too of this, and I understand. Have that space for presence. Because when you have that space, that is when you have the room to receive the ideas, the insights that God wants to give you. So stop focusing on the outcomes. That's like focusing on like making, like you can't will yourself to make muscle, bro. So you can't will yourself to get more views or more likes or more subscribers or more money. It doesn't work that way. All you can do is focus on improving your craft, becoming undeniable. So focus on that. Your own self-mastery, improving your craft, becoming undeniable. Be so fucking good they can't ignore you. And the only way you're gonna get there is by having that intrinsic desire, the desire of God that moves through you to contribute your gift to the collective, to your unique quality of, to contribute your unique perspective, contribute your unique quality of intimacy, contribute your unique gift to your unique circle of influence, your unique circle of impact. That's what I need from you. My name is Jaden. If you don't know anything about me, I'm a mystic, I'm a philosopher, I'm a polymath, I'm a healer. It's my mission to help as many people as possible, as many artists as possible, live their most free and authentic lives by helping them understand who they truly are, helping them express who they truly are. That's why I do what I do here on YouTube and on Substack. I make my videos, my writings, my podcasts, because I'm just so I'm so passionate about bridging these worlds of art, philosophy, mysticism, intersexual dynamics, to help artists live this free and abundant life, to help them live the alchemist life. And so if you resonate with that mission, I'd appreciate if you join us here on YouTube, on Substack, and if you're ready to take your mental alchemy journey, your alchemist journey, your creative alchemy journey to the next level, come join us over in Masters of Alchemy, our school program, all right? Do it today, be better for it tomorrow, stay devoted, stay inspired, baby.